24-hour readathon. I've never done one of these before, so I'm very nervous. I'm very excited because I'm going to be doing this with one of my closest friends, Caitlin. I'm just so excited to spend the weekend with her and read and hang out. I think tonight when she gets in, what we are going to be doing is doing just 24 hours and seeing how much we can read. We've been trying to figure out if we're going to be reading consistently, if we're going to be stopping the timer. I think when she gets here, we'll talk a little bit more about it. But before she gets here, I need to show you, I got this little gift bag for her and I'm so excited for her to open it. So let's show you what I got her. I met her actually through someone I met in college. We went to middle school together, but we did not know each other in middle school. I'm so grateful that the universe brought us back into each other's lives because we're literally like the same person in different months. And so with doing this readathon, I really wanted to give her a little present. In all honesty, this present kind of stemmed from the news that happened in the One Direction fandom very recently. We are both really big Directioners. We grew up with their music. We grew up as big One Direction fans. And so I think part of this readathon and us just hanging out this weekend is a tribute to girlhood, just being together in this moment. So I made her a little gift bag for this weekend. First thing in the gift bag, I got us both matching One Direction shirts. They're not necessarily matching, that was actually a lie. I love it. This is the shirt I got for myself. It is what it is. In her gift bag, I got her that shirt. We're gonna both wear them tomorrow. I got her 2 energy drinks. I don't know which energy drink she prefers. So I have this coconut berry Red Bull and then a dragon fruit Red Bull. I also put in these eye masks. They are like vitamin C ones. I don't know. I've never done a readathon before, let alone 24 hours in a row, and I'm very nervous for this. And then I also got her some Sour Patch watermelons. I'm really excited. I'm gonna give this to her right when she gets here. It's right now 3 o'clock. And I need to do like the finishing of cleaning in my apartment, and then I'm also gonna work out so that when she gets here, I don't exactly know how we're gonna do this. We'll talk about this when she's actually here, but I will see you when she's actually here. Right now 7:30 and the sun is coming up. I started my timer a little bit later than Caitlin did, but that is right now what I'm doing. I'm gonna switch to my physical book because I'm falling asleep reading my Kindle. I'm not gonna lie, I've been reading this all on my Kindle. I'm just trying to finish this book. I have this much left. I think it said 3 hours left, but I've been reading so slow because anyways. No, but if you want, we can bring the mattress out here.
If we're like reading in the same area,
it will help. Otherwise, I can also go in there. The literal only thing I'm doing is putting the fucking sun in my eye so it keeps me awake. I had to switch from my Kindle to a physical book because I kept going like this. I was on my Kindle and I kept going. I'm not gonna lie too, I just want this to be done. Yeah. Yeah.
What part are you at?
Just found out that Hunt is
Can you just point it out to me? Because I love talking shit about it.
Also, very random, but the Murder Twins, have you ever watched Teen Wolf? I keep picturing them as like these twins in Teen Wolf, and I can't stop. It's like distracting me whenever they're in a scene. So I finished the first book of this, and I will say, I think I started on page 500. So I had like 50 or 60% of the book still to read, but it took me a really long chunk of time to read it. This morning, I was falling asleep while reading. I was reading it on my Kindle, but anytime I was reading on that, I was zoning out. So I had to finish the book physically because otherwise I was gonna fall asleep. I'm not even gonna talk about how I feel about the book. I can save that for later. Our timer is right now at 19 hours and 22 minutes. And I think next I'm gonna switch to an audiobook. So I have 2 audiobooks that I could listen to. One of them I'm thinking I'm gonna go for just because I actually have the physical book too, so I could switch between audiobook and physical book. I mentioned this book in a video like a while ago. This is a YA. I think it's a mix of like fantasy and thriller about these young kids that are trying to find like a serial killer, and I think they use like a witch to help them. I don't really know. I think we're gonna go outside. I really want to take Stella for a little walk, and I'm gonna listen to the audiobook while we do that. And then I also really want to, like, I don't know, do my makeup or do something so that I'm not just sitting reading the whole time, and then I'll read like the rest of the book physically. That's the plan.
I don't know why you got me sinking so low. Yeah, girl, you got me restless. I got to know.
I'm back, giving a tiny update. We went to Caribou to get coffee and have a break of scenery. I made it to page 119 of this book and I'm so bored. But I can't tell if it's I'm bored because we've just been reading for a really long time or what it is. So I'm gonna switch to another book that I like softy enough a while ago. This is a fantasy romance, also YA, which I feel like I need just so I can read like a book fast to get a book done. So yeah, I'm gonna start this and hopefully actually like it. Oh, also we are at 17 hours on the timer. I'm not gonna lie, I really badly want to reread Carvel. We are officially at 14 hours and 30 minutes left of this. I ended up switching over to A Fragile Enchantment, which I had softy enough a couple weeks ago, maybe like a month ago. So I was already halfway through the book when I picked this up, so it didn't take me that long to finish this. I'm gonna wait till the end of the video to like give any opinions and ratings on the books, but I did not love this one. Actually, I do know my rating for this is going to be a 2 out of 5. I'll explain the book at the end and everything that I felt about it. I am gonna try and jump back in to reading The Invocations just because like that book has been going by really fast, and if I don't like it still, I might switch over to my Kindle and read like a romance or try and find a thriller on Libby. I am gonna have my first energy drink of the day. I've already had coffee and a matcha, but sitting still is making me tired. So it's right now 4 o'clock. It's gonna be a long night, but we're doing good. It is right now dinner time. It's about like 6 o'clock. So we're almost at 12 hours of the readathon, and I'm gonna go run and get us some takeout. We're getting sushi. We just ordered. I'm gonna listen to The Invocations. I actually have been reading it. I do like it a little bit more. It's more interesting. I do think it's kind of a slow beginning of a book. That's that. I did download a romance book on my Kindle. I don't know it off the top of my head. It's like the Burger Brothers. I don't know. I think that's going to be my Kindle read if I can finish The Invocations. It's a long night ahead of us. I'm going to try and stay up as long as we can. I'm feeling very good. I actually haven't had an energy drink yet. I need an energy drink. Oh my God. I'm going to have my energy drink when I come back and have dinner. And yeah. Sometimes I forget that this Harry is also like Harry.
Wait, what's your favorite? What was your favorite?
My favorite era.
Frat boy Harry, dark Harry, long hair.
What was yours?
Frat boy Harry. That's when I was reading all my fanfictions.
That's so valid. Mine was either frat boy or prince hair. Okay, team, it's right now 8:20. We have 10 hours left of this. I'm feeling good. I finished technically 2 books already. I have a little bit, I think like 100 pages maybe left of this book, and then I think I'm gonna switch over to my Kindle. I don't know if I'm gonna finish that book, but this book is fine. I don't know if I would recommend it. It's very dark and has a lot to do with demons, and I was not expecting it to be what it is, but it's entertaining, I guess. I don't know, it's been passing the time and it's been a decently fast read. I will say I've been reading a lot slower than I usually do just because of the amount of reading we've done today. I am gonna shower soon and honestly probably do like a face mask or something just to keep myself awake. I feel good now, but I think like in an hour or two I'm gonna need to do a face mask because I'm gonna be so dead. Also, I realized I left all the ambiance noise on for this clip, so I hope the soothing rain sounds are really helping ya. I'm done with book 3. 9 hours left to go. I'm starting to feel tired now. I think this is like a 2.75 or maybe a 3-star. I think I'm gonna read on my Kindle because I really want to read a romance and I don't have any romance books on my physical TBR. But if I start to feel tired from scrolling on my Kindle, I will have to read a physical book. The next book I'm gonna read is Only and Forever. I don't know, it's some random, it was literally the only book that looked intriguing from my library, so. Hi everyone, I'm so tired right now. It's right now 11:40. That is how much time is left on my timer. I think I'm gonna lay in bed and read for as long as I can, and then I think whatever time I have left, I might pause the timer and finish it tomorrow just because I'm so tired and I don't really want to mess up my sleeping schedule that much. So yeah, I'm gonna lay in bed, which is probably not the best idea, but it's the idea I have. So we kind of failed. I fell asleep last night. Originally, our plan last night, we were going to read throughout the whole night. Honestly, like when we had dinner and everything like that, I was feeling really good. I thought I was going to be able to do it. It hit around like 11 p.m. and I started to feel really tired. But it wasn't just that I was tired, it was I couldn't comprehend words. And so I was reading on my Kindle, I was reading the romance book, but I was reading at a level that was so slow and I had to reread the same pages like 5 or 10 times. It was really bad. I ended up falling asleep. Caitlin had fell asleep while she was listening to Fourth Wing and reading it on my couch. And so I gave up. Originally, I was only gonna sleep for a couple of hours and then I woke up from my timers to wake up, obviously, and I I just felt so bad. Also, I have to go to work tomorrow. Like, I didn't want to mess up my sleeping schedule that much. Then was just gonna go to sleep until 5, sleep for a couple hours, and then I had 5 hours on the timer and I would be done still in the morning. I woke up at 5 and again felt dead. So I have my timer going now because I started it when I woke back up, and if I were to just let this play out, it's gonna go till 2:15. I have 4.5 hours pretty much, but I think in my book I only have 3 hours left of reading, and I'm gonna be so honest with you, I don't want to keep reading. I don't want to get myself in a book slump because I have a reading vlog that I want to do next week, but I did read a lot. The romance book that I'm reading, I'm really liking it. It is Grumpy Sunshine, except he is the sunshine and she's the grumpy person. He is a hopeless romantic and she is more so a pessimist. He owns a bookstore. She's an author. It's very cute. I'm really glad I chose this as the last book to read because it was really easy and it didn't really take any brain power. I think I'm gonna sit down because Caitlin just left and read until either I finish the book or I feel just brain dead and that I can't read anymore. But before I feel like that, I really wanted to talk about the other books that I read in this 24-hour readathon. I read all of these books. Even if I was not successful with staying awake for the full time, reading this many books is an accomplishment in itself. I got some books that have been sitting on my TBR off of it, and these books have been on my TBR for quite a while. So starting off the readathon, I read Crescent City 3. I'm gonna be honest, I did not realize how terrible of a person Sarah J Maas is. For books especially, because authors, I only see their name on a book cover. I don't ever follow authors except for like Emily Henry. I don't know who else on my bookshelf I would even know what they look like. Sarah J Maas, I guess, but I don't know anything about authors as I read them. But it's come to light, especially through book talk videos that I've been seeing, that it's important to do some research before you buy a book of who the author is and who you're supporting. So honestly, I'm not going to really talk about my opinions on this book. This is going to be the last Sarah J Maas book that I read. The only reason I even read it is because I had already bought it. I have this thing where if I buy something, especially a book, I can't get rid of it before I read it, or I feel so much guilt in my body that like I want to die. But yeah, I finished this book and then I started The Invocations, but it was really hard for me to get into this book, so I picked back up A Fragile Enchantment. I was already like 150 pages into this book when I picked it up. So again, I was just finishing a book that I had softy enough. The Crescent City book I hadn't softy enough. I just had been reading that throughout the week, so I wanted to finish that before starting any books for this video. But this is a YA fantasy. Our main character is a seamstress, and when she sews gowns or jackets, she sews in magical spells, enchantments into the garments themselves. So she is very talented and ends up getting hired by the palace to design a dress for the royal wedding. This is a very, very light, honestly, it's more so a romance with a fantasy background. I didn't hate this. I don't think I would recommend it, especially for people that have read a lot of fantasy. It wasn't anything special. I think I gave it a 2 out of 5. And also like that rating wasn't because I had read already like 400, 500 pages that day. I just wasn't super impressed by that. So yeah, that was that book. The last book that I fully finished, and the only book that I fully started in this reading vlog, was The Invocations. I chose this book to read because I actually found an audiobook from my library, so I was able to listen to the audiobook, read the physical book, and switch on and off. That way I was, no matter what I was doing, I was reading. And yeah, this is YA magical horror. We follow a few different POVs in this book. They're all young women. They are all working together to find this murderer. One of the characters' family member was murdered. One of them is a witch, and she does these invocations or spells for women in this world. Men cannot use magic, and so it's this whole thing where they're all working together trying to find this murderer, and it is very interesting. I do think it's a very slow book to get into, and I'm not sure if it was a slow book for me to get into because I didn't like the book or because I had already read 2 books by that point. I think this is like a 2.75. 5 as like my final rating for this book. And then the last book that I started, I'm right now 30% into it. We might not finish the full 24 hours in this video. This first readathon might be a fail, but again, even though I technically failed, it was a big success because I read a lot, and honestly it was just really fun to hang out with Caitlin and talk about books and I don't know, just be girls together. But I'm 36% into Only End Forever. This is a interconnected romance series, I guess. It's the Bergman Brothers series, and now that I've read this one, which is literally the last book in the series, or now that I'm reading this one, I really want to go back and read the other books. So it's gonna be my plans for this morning. I really want to read this, and then honestly I don't want to look at books for like the next so long. I feel like I can't form words. I have not gotten that much sleep, but my only problem with today is I need to do stuff so that I don't sleep and mess up my sleep schedule. So yeah, we're gonna lay down, read this, and yeah.